that shooting it kind of a bit like we shot Succession with 2 cameras.
Local TV?
Dad, nobody watches TV.
Which means that you can do looser takes and still find a way to edit the film.
Boom!
I knew that I wanted to surround myself with a lot of Succession people, so all those factors came together.
The world wants your algorithm to stop being racist and shitty.
Are you trying to hurt me? Things can't get any worse.
I tend not to write for actors in mind in general. Often, you know, Succession and Mountainhead, there are a number of real life figures who inform those people, so those are the ones maybe I'm thinking about a bit more. I did know that Steve would be the first person we asked to play Randall, but I didn't entertain hope of necessarily getting anyone in particular, partly because the time frame was going to be so short, and we had these kind of 20 days when we were going to be shooting it, and I was prepared to shoot the film with whoever I could get in those 20 days. We made the film really quickly. I basically pitched it in December of last year, wrote it January, pre-production February, and shot it in March and April, and have edited it in short order to get it on TV. I wanted to kind of try and write it and have it come out while the audience was still in the same tech cultural moment that I was when I was writing it. When it was suggested that we do it really quickly, it really suited me because I was quite scared of directing, and so the idea of not having too long to think about it and running at it was quite appealing. I think there was quite a direct trajectory from me writing a book review about Sam Bankman-Fried, reading a ton more about tech people. At that point I didn't know that any part of my brain was thinking about writing a show in this world, but then hearing podcasts, especially podcasts and TED Talks of people in the tech world, meant that I had a tone of voice and a sort of philosophical approach which suddenly clicked as like, oh, I'd like to write these men. So that was how that came into focus.
59!
63 Bill!
Feels good! 220 Bill!
I rewrite a lot. I think most writers do. So I wrote it fast in 10 days, the first draft. And lots of that is in the film, but a lot of it isn't as well. And so, I showed it to Lucy Prebble, Tony Roach, John Brown, Will Tracy, Frank Rich, HBO, and get notes, give myself notes as well. We did a read-through, which is a crucial part of, especially something with a comic tone, absolutely essential, I would say, to hear it before you do it. So yeah, it went through a lot of drafts. I mean, it probably went through 50 drafts in this short time, but that's not a real reflection of how many times there were significant changes. But there were a lot of changes. I've been thinking about trying to direct something for a while. I wanted to direct the next film-length piece that I wrote. This was that, and also it was maybe particularly amenable in that I knew that shooting it kind of a bit like we shot Succession with 2 cameras, which means that you can do looser takes and still find a way to edit the film or piece together reasonably well. I knew that I wanted to surround myself with a lot of Succession people, so all those factors came together. Yeah, it's an interesting question that about how prescriptive and I am versus loose. It's a real mixture, and maybe it sounds like boasting, but the actors usually want to stick to the script, at least initially. It's a sort of really good guide to the scenes, you might say, and they're sort of respectful, but also I think professionally usually happy with it. However, a lot of people I've worked with like to have a loose style on the set, and I like that too as well. And I like the challenge that it offers to me, to almost be like, can I write something that they want to stick to? I like the fact that it encourages people to move around where they want to. That's almost the most important part about a freestyle, more than the words for me, is that actors, when they're hitting marks, as they say, hitting spots, that the camera is pre-prepared to have them in focus or have a shot selected for it. I personally think that I can feel sometimes some of that preparedness coming across in the performance, and I love it feeling natural. And if I have anything that I want to achieve in the directing and writing of a piece, is for it to feel real.
Guys, we could actually do this.
I can handle Argentina and Paraguay.
We could probably buy Haiti.
Or Belgium, those chocolatey assholes.
This does not look like somebody who should have the keys to America.
There's a turn in the film where they decide to make a dramatic decision. It's a long scene, like there's a number of long scenes, and that was a great one to shoot, seeing Steve Carrell, Jason Schwartzman and Cory Michael Smith circle around this very big, outrageous, morally problematic idea and worry at it from different angles was really, really delightful. And it came at a point into the shoot where maybe the actors had learned to trust me to the degree that they did learn to trust me, and I certainly trusted them, and we just had a lot of fun shooting that. It's a very verbal scene, but it felt very alive, and that was a fun one to shoot. I think what's pleasurable, if people enjoy it, maybe is about seeing the logical steps from something that seems completely illogical becoming cooked up between these three people, becoming a reality.
I hope you rich folks don't mind slumming it in the humble abode of the poorest billionaire in the gang. But this is exactly why I built Mountainhead.
Mountainhead house is a real house. Almost everything in there was shot in location. I think everything was shot in the real location as is. Maybe there's a tiny bit of cheating of different doorways and arrivals, but very little. I'm quite a mechanical thinker as a director. As a first-time director, I'm not great at imagining the restaging and how and tricking spaces for the audience. So yeah, and that was very useful for me, that the kitchen is the kitchen, the bedroom is the bedroom, and the walk between them is sometimes covered possibly in excruciating detail. The fact that the house is the house and most of the locations are real shouldn't take away from the work of Stephen Carrell, the production designer, who, for example, that house did kind of have a sauna, but it didn't feel right. So that's a kind of classic example of where a subtle production designer takes something which is sort of there but wouldn't shoot very well, and he, in that case, clad it with his team, clad it all in wood, rebuilt the window. We made it funny so that Rami Youssef's face would be funny when he's framed in there. So there's tons of things all over that house that have been adapted to make them more shootable and make a better film. But the bones of it were there in the house.
Violence, chaos, and people are dying.
Not real. Heads don't explode like that.
Heads don't explode like that?
No.
How do heads explode?
Steve Carrell walking into glass. Honestly, yeah, when we shot it, I thought, oh, well. I wrote it because I wanted to show that he was thinking so intently about something that he wasn't aware of his physical surroundings. Once I'd written it, I thought, oh, this is probably the only bit that anyone will remember from this film, if they remember anything. And then when we shot it, I was not entirely satisfied with the way that I'd shot it and considered cutting it, and then we played it in an audience in New York, and it was a pretty friendly crowd with a lot of cast and crew, so it went pretty well. But by far the biggest laugh was Steve walking into glass, so I'm going to probably give up satire and just move towards people falling over more.